Mamuna Makwaba, I GH Politics Avedu. I hand out all the trending political stories in Ghana on Sa Ebekano. And the story of the Bremui and Che Bia Ena OSP. Kiseja bin Eche lawyer ni mapa Martin Kpebu etu. Na wachi ni tum na be ubie chena ubie Kpebu ubie kaninsem. Omo Kpebu domani tutumu bia anche bia na OSP eja lawyer Martin Kpebu so onko. Na uja no ena Martin Kpebu aba abonten wa beka nsem bebrebe na de nsem a waka ne de ehu ankasa. Na nsem ni bi se o se asem a waka fa OSP Kiseja bi hu bia no adanse a edi na asem na woka na chi enebuslim ka na woka na asem bia waka bia no adanse wo ho a ekire se OSP asem na woka OSP aye na ono de washa asem nwi obeto akoso a se de wo hwehwe no ne nsa beka na pepepe yo aye adwuma omienko ni nko TV ne ba de kan bia de bam.
Tell us, with what we just saw, you're coming out granting this interview, you had to move a bit further away. What exactly happened in this? Quick one.
Good. So let's go to just that part. You see, we had to move. You see me beckoning. Whilst we were talking, what you couldn't see in your shot was a policeman, Mr. J, came to tell Fatah Bayarga, the journalist and the cameraman, that summing up, I've told you not to conduct interviews here. So move further. That you see how we moved to the final point, and that was continuous. So move. So though he wasn't talking to me, I felt that, look, as I said, I have solid evidence, so I don't want my case to snowball into side issues. You see, as you sit on TV, you know, sometimes people expect higher standards from you. So I saw that, no, don't argue with the policeman. So you see quickly, though he wasn't talking to me, you see my hand, I'd say move, and we moved. Though he wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
So when I was done with the interview, I came in. So I even expected, when I came back into the OSP yard, and the reason, let's be fair to the journalists, the reason the journalists were hesitant was that where we're standing, it's not labeled as OSP. It's an ECG facility. It's an ECG room with machines in there. I don't know what they are. Ordinarily, we say transformer, but I'm not an expert. So let's just say ECG facility with some machines in there.
Okay.
Good. So that's why the journalists were surprised that the policeman was driving us away. But I quickly said, no, just obey. And then we moved. So when I finished and came into the yard, the first person I met was Mr. J, the policeman. And then standing by the security post, he looked at me, I looked at him, then I passed. With hindsight, I think I expected him to commend me that, hey, Councillor, I wasn't even talking to you yet. See how you cooperated. He wasn't talking to me.
Right.
Yet I moved the journalist and the cameraman. So when I walked past Mr. J, maybe 2-3 steps, then I heard you. So you, then I turned. When I turned, it was a soldier. So I'll say a soldier because at that time, I didn't think that there was a second soldier. So a soldier said, I allowed you to park here, and then you decide to go out to make conduct media interviews. Next time, I'll not allow you to do that. So I shot back that, which laws have I broken? You can't prevent me. You don't have such rights. Because what have I done wrong? Then he kept quiet. So I continued to move. So by this time, you say maybe 5 meters down the line. Then I heard, as for me, then once again I turned. Then I saw another soldier. Then he continued. As for me, next time you come and do that here, I'll show you, pa. And that's a military man, pointing fingers. I'll show you. That's the second soldier, not the first one. I'll show you. It was quite menacing. It was quite threatening. So, you know, naturally, the lawyer in me would not just keep quiet and go. I'm a lawyer. Lawyers, we are trained to ask questions. We are trained to, investigate matters. A lawyer is also an investigator. So I shot back that, what powers do you have? A lawyer is an investigator. Somebody is telling me that next time I'll show you, pa. You say, I want to say, I'll show you pepper. Yeah, that's Ghanaian English. I'll show you pepper. Right? So I tend to say, what powers do you have? You can't do anything. And instead of him to show me the powers, what law, etc., the next thing I knew, he said, I'm a stupid man. You see? We are debating.
I see. So you asked him the question about what power he has.
Yes, what power? He can't do anything. What is it? What power does he have? So it means that show me the law, whatever you're going to. He couldn't do that. You see, when his arguments are finished, then he will turn to insults. When a person cannot argue, he turns to insults. So he now said, you're a stupid man. So I looked at it. I also shot back that he's also stupid. He's an idiot. Yeah, then we kept trading stupid, idiot. We traded that maybe 3-4.
Each other.
Yes. Yes, that one I'll say, but a distance of about 5 meters between us, or more, minimum to be about 5 meters.
I see.
So then one of my lawyers came and grabbed me that we should go. And then we went inside.
Okay.
Yes. And over there, I asked to make a report. So that was it. Nobody arrested me at that point. When we entered the reception, even on our way to the reception, you know, it's quite a distance. From the security post to the reception, it can be at least 15 meters minimum. So on our way, we met a police lady coming out. She's one of the persons who will search you. So she will search females when you get into the reception. Okay. And I told her, Madam, I'm coming to lodge a complaint against these soldiers. But she said nothing to me, and she walked towards the soldiers. So I entered. And when we got into the reception, I told them I wanted to make a report against that soldier, not the two. To be clear, I don't have a problem with the first one because I asked him a question, he didn't answer. That's it. It's the second one, the short one.
I see.
So then at the reception, they said they will help me to make the complaint. It has to be a phone call, so I should sit. So after the protocols, we sat down. But by the time we're going upstairs to go and meet Mr. Abraham Ablo-Mensah, that's the chief of staff of the OSP, at that time, I didn't even know he was the one we were to meet. No, but so let's say before we're going upstairs to meet the persons we were to meet, they still hadn't been able to help me make the complaint. So I went upstairs and then we're ushered in. It turned out that the persons we met during our second invitation were the same person. That's Abraham Ablo-Mensah. He's the chief of staff of the OSP. And then lawyer Albert Paddington. So when we sat down, did the normal protocols, then we said, no, the first thing to be addressed is that verbal abuse. The way the soldier has abused me, we want them to deal with it. Long story short, so they agreed and went down. They came back 45 minutes later and said that there are counter accusations against me. So since they don't have jurisdiction to investigate that, I should write my statement so that there will be a different administrative panel to deal with that issue. So I agreed. Then quickly I wrote my statement. Afterwards, now we came to the main business for the day, which is that, yes, you are here. We've asked you to come once again, the third time, to present us evidence of the corruption against Kisi Ejabe, etc. And we'll shortly go into at least some of the evidence. Today, I'll show you a bit more so that you'll be convinced that I'm not joking. At least at my age, I've done 18 years at the bar. So I won't come and make statements if I don't have any evidence at all. So then we told them, but Mr. Ablo-Mensah, the last time we came here, he wasn't in the first meeting. So the second meeting, he was in charge. The first meeting, can you imagine? As part of their incompetence, the first meeting we went to, OSP brought Albert Akrugu. Albert Akrugu that are accused of conflict of interest, etc. And right now, there's a petition against him and Kisi Ejabe Ashraj. OSP presented Albert Akrugu as the man leading the charges to collect my information to go and investigate.
So you had concerns with that and you raised some of
Yes, I said, Albert Akrugu, you're a lawyer, you should know. How can you come? I've named you already, so you can't. Then that's how come the first meeting ended. And then we also said we needed an independent body. You can't, you, Albert, you are a subordinate to Kisi, and the other officer on the first day is also a subordinate. So that's how come the first day the meeting ended, because they were not credible. I mean, they are not the credible persons to take my information. Then we came to the second meeting about a week later. And that meeting, that's the one Abraham Ablo-Mensah, the chief of staff of the OSP, and lawyer Paddington met us. Then we raised the same objection that, look, both of you are subordinates to Kisi Ejabe. Kisi Ejabe is your boss. Look, if you exonerate him, we will say, but how can a subordinate investigate the boss? If you find him liable to, we'll say, hey, you have a beef to you have a beef with him, or you have an axe to grind with him. That's why you could find your boss liable. So whichever way, the optics don't look good. So please, let's find an independent body. So it was at the second meeting, not this Wednesday, that we pointed out that, okay, breaking it down in simple English, maybe let us meet the board. At least the board on paper are supposed to be independent of the special prosecutor. I mean, because they are not employees, that angle.
Right.
So that's for starters. But if we met the board, we would come and tell Ghanaians, these are the people we met. And if it turns out that Ghanaians know that, hey, this board member, he brought 10 people to Kisi Ejabe to employ there, etc. If we find out that they've begged favors from Kisi Ejabe, we'll disqualify them. Okay. So I know what we're doing. At least I'm a lawyer. You investigate step by step. Right. So we're willing to meet the board. Then they said, okay, we should go. So that was the second meeting. So when we went the third meeting, it was still the same Lawyer Paddington and Mr. Abraham Ablomensa. So we said, but last week we came here, we told you that you are subordinates, you can't investigate your boss, blah, blah, and you've called us here. Then they insisted that they can do it. So we said, no, I will not give you the information. I will shortly give you a few here today so that you see that that's just a tip of the iceberg. So they said, no, they would not, for them, it's been decided that they should investigate what concerns the OSP, not the special prosecutor. To be fair to them, they now showed me the distinction that they are to investigate the matters concerning the office, not the special prosecutor himself. So I said, no, most of my allegations are against Kisi Ejabin, and that's how, and those allegations, because when the board, you see, the boss of an institution is the #1 ambassador. So though, like for Ghana, there are ambassadors properly so-called. President Mahama is the #1 ambassador of Ghana. So the head of an institution is ambassador. So when there are allegations against him, it affects the institution. So this distinction is like what we say, a distinction without a difference. So please, no, the value is the same.
Okay.
So that was the end. We said we will not give them the information. Then Ablomensa stepped out and came back 15 minutes later with the policeman to arrest me.
I see. And that was...
And we will soon show that they had no power to arrest me in this instance. OSP.
And they arrested you and took you where?
Yeah, so then they didn't even tell me. I didn't even get an opportunity to call my family. Handcuffed me. But before then, look, let's give 1 minute so that you see the sequence. Right. Before they handcuffed and took me away, what happened was that Ablomensa went out and came back about 30 minutes later and said that's after the arrest and after I'd written my statement. I wanted to obey quickly because that way you get bail. Kofi or ADG, you are here. If you cooperate ordinarily, you get bail. But if you argue too much there, you argue, they'll come and tell the public that when they sought to go through, every lawyer knows that if they say they will arrest you, the next thing after that, generally, though it's not written in hard law, is that write your statement. But if the police are very busy after the arrest, they can grant you bail and then you write your statement later. But this one, you could see that they were on a mission, so don't argue. So I just told the lawyers, come on, let him do the arrest quickly. The policeman was at one, I said, come on, let him come and do, well, I presume he's a policeman. He's yet to, I'm yet to know. So let's say the OSP officer. So I said, come on, come and do it quickly so that I write my statement so that I can ask for bail. So we didn't argue at all. So you see, that's Kpebu. No, you should know when to argue, know when to pick your fight. You don't just fight anywhere. You are in their custody, I mean, yes, practically in their custody. You won't get out, even if you argue 1,000 times. So quickly, he came and then he touched my shoulder. You are under arrest for so obstructing an officer, blah, blah. Then the rest, you to paraphrase, they will say, you are not obliged to say anything, but if you say anything, it will be written down and then presented in court as evidence against you, blah. So when they were done, they said, hey, yes, write your statement. Then quickly, I wrote my statement. So after the statement, grant me bail. Then Abraham Ablomensa said he's going to consult. Presumably his bosses. He's going to consult. So he went, Alberta Kugu, Samidaku, and then Kisi Ejabin. So he went and then came back about 30 minutes later and said, yes, okay, they've agreed to grant me bail. But the condition is that I should bring a property in my name, landed property, in my own name. So it looked very ridiculous. I burst out laughing when I heard that condition, similar to Paul Adumotri's
landed property in your name.
Yes. You see how life, a few months ago, we're on Paul Adumotri's case. Somebody said, you see, now a few months down the line, Kpebu, you see, they've given you the same condition. The abuse of Kisi Ejabin and the OSP. So quickly, what happened was that, it looked very laughable. That, a soldier abuses me, I also reply, and now you're saying I should bring landed property. So we said, oh, please vary the terms. Then he said, okay, he will go and consult. He went and came another 15 minutes. You see the delay tactics. He came back another 15 minutes on variation of the bail terms and said, no, they are not willing to vary. So by now, it was around 6:10 p.m. So once I saw that they were not willing to vary, fortunately for me, I've always had an indenture in the office for the past 4 years. I know where it lies. So quickly, I told one of my lawyers that I should go to the office. And my office is just, even if you are walking, about 10 minutes walk, if you are walking from OSP to my, so it's close. If you are driving, it's less. So quickly, Marcelinus Bia went to the office. But as soon as, when Marcel left, then Ablomensa went out again. He came about 3-4 minutes later to tell us that even if Marcelinus Bia brings the indenture, they need to verify it. And since it was past 6 p.m., they can't do that Wednesday night. So they would rather send me into custody and continue tomorrow. Then we say, Ablomensa, Martin Kpebu, I'm always here. If you want to find me, you find me TV3, you find me in court, you find me in my office. OSP, you know my office, you've been delivering. How can I run out of Ghana because a soldier insulted me and I insulted? Hey, look, you see there. Mr. Kansi, are you surprised that they are they did this? And I'm not surprised because people who could allow Oforiatta to travel, they didn't know how to blow their whistle, do a common press statement. Ghanaians, Oforiatta is about to flee Ghana. You see a Jabin who couldn't do that. I'm not surprised that Ablomensa couldn't reason that I would not abscond. So he said even if Marcel Lunusbia brings the indenture, it can't work. So he told Mr. J, the policeman that I obeyed very well at the beginning, he told him to handcuff me. I can mention that he is a policeman because he was in police uniform and his name shows AJ. You know, usually they put only the surname, AJ. Sure. AJ. So AJ handcuffed me, and then next thing I knew, all the pleas for them to wait for myself to bring the indenture didn't work. So then they took me downstairs. And to add insult to injury, what they did was that the first soldier whom I asked the question to show me his authority for saying next time. The one you exchanged your insults with? No, the first one. The first one. Who did him? He now came. He was the one who came with his gun. It was the one who had to escort me. Oh, I mean, come on. So like now we are showing you where power lies. So we went through the elevator and then into a car. As I said, I was not allowed to call my family. We should be doing serious law reforms on that. You arrest a person, the first thing you have to do is let him call his family. Let him call his family. It must be law. To be aware of what your whereabouts. Yes. Because I think that even... But they've not put it in hard. Kofi, you and I went to law school. We're not taught... Maybe today, if you ask me, I can't find it in the law. So bring it more prominently clear that when a person... We are doing that for juveniles. We are doing that for juvenile justice. I've seen a draft bill where it is stated that allow the person, they should call the family. This one, so straight to the middle of nowhere because they didn't tell me where we were going. Then we sat in the car. So I protested that no, I don't see what soldiers are doing in OSP. So I can't have the soldier escort me. So when we got to the gate, Mr. J, the policeman, who was now the driver of the car, asked the soldier to get down. And then they brought a policeman. Hey, if you saw him, he's like the two soldiers combined. You see the way Ghanaians are fixated. Huge, tall, thick, tall. Now say Bermani. You know, we are so fixated about soldiers. If you saw the policeman, you see that, yes, like what I've been telling you. You know, in the police, they also have SWAT team. If it's strength you are looking for fiscal power and the rest. I'm telling you that policeman is twice. He's the soldier, the two soldiers combined. Is that one policeman? So they didn't tell you they were taking you to a they didn't tell me. Then they started driving, maneuvering through the traffic. Then it got to a point, once we got to Ridge Roundabout, there's a certain road leading to BNI headquarters. So I knew that, I couldn't be sure because you can use it and go to police headquarters. So let's say I still wasn't sure, but I thought that maybe it would be BNI. And lo and behold, because you get to BNI before you get to, that's the headquarters, before you can get to police headquarters. So they entered the BNI headquarters. Then the OSP officer, as I said, he's not wearing uniform. So I can say he's OSP officer. He now went in and then booked. There's a document, blah, blah, blah. So I even thought they were going to put me in that BNI cell. There's a BNI cell at the headquarters. Clients have told me that that place is very warm. So a senior Akiffo, Mr. Akiffo, coincidentally, Mr. Akiffo and I attended St. Charles Minor Seminary. So senior, this one, we beg you. They say that cells in the headquarters is very hot. I have a client who left. I was just about writing a letter to him about last week when my trouble started. So Mr. Akiffo, they say the cells in the BNI headquarters is too hot. The ventilation is very poor. So I dreaded it when we entered there. Hey, my stomach started churning. I was like, my client told me that this place is warm. And I said, I'll write to Mr. Akiffo. Now you are going to face it yourself. Then thankfully, they didn't make me alight. So then we started the journey. So once we left there, it was clear to me that we are going to Kaokudi. And also from experience as a lawyer, I'm aware that the Kaokudi facility is far better. It's far better. That's the National Intelligence Bureau facility. Yes, the Kaokudi one. So, Mr. Akiffo, please, we beg you, the BNI headquarters there, that facility, improve it. Okay. So, then, they took me to the Kaokudi place, and then we alighted, and then they took the handcuffs off, And then they had to process me to put me in the cells. Hey, they brought my gown. Hey, Charlie. But that's when you know that, yes, reality was beginning to dawn on me that, yes, today you go sleep here. But somehow, I was very confident
so they
that...
brought you a gown that you
have to. Yeah, you have to change
your outfit
and wear the gown.
Gown.
Brought me fresh box.
When the last time?
The back one. So at the back. They bring you boxes and then, hey, Charlie. Then they put the things down. Then they say I should sit. But of course, before they start changing, you have to go through process. They will process you. You have to fill a lot of biodata, a lot. They will gather a lot because you need to know who they are putting in custody. Everything, your wife and children, your hometown, everything, plenty things. Your parents, whether dead or alive, you have to write where they were. Hey, Charlie, voluminous. So we did. Then afterwards, so there were more processes they were doing. So long story short, they were still in their processes. And then, you know, all this while, I was hopeful that I would be removed, that I'll be released, because it was ridiculous that Kisi Jabi was just trying to show me where power lies. And you see, I was a bit traumatized. I was like, so a lawyer power can be put in charge of a state institution and he will be behaving like a non-lawyer. That I have a case against you. If Kisi Jabi, you think I've defamed you, sue me in court, let's go and deal. You can't use your police powers to arrest me, Kpebu. So I was shocked. And Kisi Jabi made first class in University of Ghana. So I was like, And we used to respect Kisi. Hey, those days when we were in Akuffo, Kisi was intelligent. Everybody knew that this intelligent law student. So even at the time of his appointment, even though Martin Amidu pointed to conflict of interest because Kisi Jabi is a lawyer to Gabi Ochredako and Oforiata, Kisi Jabi worked for Oforiata. But you know, because we were in school, he was a year ahead, and everybody knew that he was intelligent. At the time of his appointment, he made the first class. I was like, oh no, the guy actually be shocked. He will rise above it. Hey, I didn't know that Amidu would be right. I didn't know. And people will know Kisi Jabi personally. They met me and say, you people, you don't know this boy. When you say you have...
So you, the
GH Politics Avenue. Open all the trending political stories in Ghana. Eheyana on Sabekano. Except when you video, the also be like it, share my friend. Now, if it's notification bell or one, we don't have about say, story be diachi, the baby biano is hard bebrem. Na Musumanya be, I hear no more dear Kosu, or mine Ghana, a manusimu. A damuna masi, the background, that's an Sabisha, Mumbaba.